It's a brand new week, and what do we have? A lot is happening in the stock market, particularly following the CBN's regulatory directive to all Nigerian banks. A lot of chaos going on in the banking sector, and as I said earlier, for banks operating under regulatory forbearance, it's not something that is new. It's always been there. This is CBN just trying to clean up and shut out every non-performing loan. Well, what do we have? So much panic in the banking sector the moment the market opened, and we saw a lot of bank stocks being sold off rapidly. First things first, I saw Access Bank going into full offer, saw First Bank going into full offer, saw UBA going into full offer and selling at the 10% dip. But what do we have right now? A whole lot of reversal. Listen, if you do not find yourself in a community where intelligent and experienced investment decisions are being made and analysis done, you might just throw away your gold in the ocean. Please, once again, do not panic when things like this happens. First thing you should ask yourself, why did you invest in the banks? Second, are the bank owners also selling off? Because as we have it right now, as I speak, most of those banks whose stocks dived 10% this morning have all bounced back up, and the bids are now building up. So some people have taken full advantage. In our Net Worth Investors Club, during the discussion, I saw somebody who dived in and scooped some UBA at about 32. And now UBA is back to 34, going on 35. Well, it's a brand new week and a brand new day, and this is how I intend to start. Ask your questions early enough. We have less than 2 hours already because the session has started fully. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. As usual, we are in our daily 12 to 2 p.m. market research, analysis, and opportunities fishing. Put your questions on and let's get going. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations for all your achievements so far in the market. Sir, I sent you a message on Instagram over a week, no reply, and have few days left in what? In Nigeria. Oviero Anthony. Please, when you send a message, you're not getting a reply, can you resend severally? Because I receive tons of messages from across the world. I don't know how to manage this anymore. Just do well to resend severally or repeatedly, by all means, so I can be able to get it. Or already 3% profit from UBA today. Okay, that's a smart one. I can never sell my stocks no matter the noise. Good one, good mentality. The truth is, all of these noises sometimes can actually serve as opportunity providers, because you will always find people panic in the market. Just don't be amongst those who panicked and made the wrong move. It's okay to panic, but before you make a decision, make sure that you get sufficient information and weigh all your options. Because as I speak to you now, some people have sold their Zenith Bank for 45 naira, 45 naira, and it has bounced up back. I saw GT being sold at 68. It's already back to 71, and so on and so forth. So let's get your questions coming in. We have no time to waste. Coach, what's the best entry price for QTIX and TIP? Well, for me, TIP, maximum entry is 675. Whatever is happening, there's nothing new. Eventually, it will bottom out. 675 for me, even though I saw somebody buy at 7. For TIP, that's for TIP, and then for QTIX, I saw it at 317. That's not bad. Anything around that price and below. Please, I want to start mutual fund. Please, which platform is best to use? ask your stockbroker if they offer mutual funds and also maybe ARM or Stanbic IBTC. First Holdco just made me happy with the drop, scooped at 25.50. Dowsey Unlimited. Now that's a bold move, and actually sometimes you've got to take a risk. For those who were afraid and sold to you, they thought you were taking a risk, but you were making a bold money move. And in this market, the market only rewards the bold. The question you would have asked yourself, for those of you selling, is Femi Otedola just jumped into First Bank, took full management control, current chairman, and about to settle with the last majority shareholder who is now opting out. And is that when you want to jump out? Well, we will still watch this First Bank you bought at 25.50 hit 30 again before our very eyes under a short time. Now, let me tell us something about these banks. Nigerian banks have been very resilient over the years. They've gone through all sorts of stress and crisis, but most of them have always come out on top of it. And that's why you have a bank like First Bank over 100 years old, 124 or something. And you have a bank like Wema Bank, which is not an international licensed bank. Banks do not just collapse overnight. What is happening is a regular. That they are only reminding them of that instruction. And then, what is the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is they are not able to meet up and they are suspended from paying dividend for this year. Did we not watch MTN missing out paying dividend for 2024, only to realize eventually that MTN recovered from 117 naira to over 325 naira as we speak? So that you are going to miss dividend for one half of the year or for one full year doesn't mean the bank is crashing. In fact, this instruction actually makes the banks healthier. I want you to understand this very well. Nothing is systematically wrong with the banks. The CBN is only trying to make them to comply fully with certain requirements to make them healthier, because I don't understand how you will have non-performing loans, you will not provide for them, but you are rushing out to go and open new subsidiary branches of the banks abroad. That's like leaving your house unhealthy and tattered and going to build castles outside, right? Wait. All right? So the right thing is to fix the house, make sure it is perfectly in order and in compliance with all regulatory requirements for perfect health. And then you can go out there and do whatever you want to do. Some of the management give themselves a whole lot of bonuses here and there, running into millions of naira every year. And so the CBN is saying, no, do not keep rewarding yourself at the risk of the health of the bank. You have non-performing loans. Provide for them, make sure you cover for them, and every time those loans are offset, then you have excess money to continue to grow the business. But do the first things first. Let the banks remain as robust and as healthy as possible before you launch out into giving yourselves and the management bonuses left, right, and center, or going to open branches abroad, or even giving shareholders dividends. So the bank has to be alive for you to get further dividends in the coming years. And if no one makes them to do this, then they may run the bank aground, right? So I hope you understand this. How much can I bid for Zenith and UBA today? Well, Zenith was going for 45 and later recovered a bit. Let's see how much it is right now. Zenith is up to 47 at the moment. Okay. I've just been logged out, so I'll have to log in again so I can give you real-time updates of what the situation is with these banks. We go on to the banking sector straight up. because of the urgency of what we are doing, so we can be able to tell exactly what's happening. On to the premium board, and we have Access Bank 2130. There are 8 million bids versus 23 million offers for Access Bank. I saw Access Bank drop to 20 naira this morning and on full offer, but basically there are 8 million offers right now, and it's up to 21, though it's losing from Friday's 22.35. I also saw First Holdco drop to about 24 this morning, but it's up back to 26, though 2 naira less than the closing price on Friday. 2 million bids bidded for versus 21 million offers. Then the other bank we have is UBA. I also saw UBA drop drastically to around 32, but it's currently at 34 naira 50 kobo right now, and 25 million bids versus 20 million offers. So for amongst those who have dropped a lot this morning, UBA now has a higher bid versus offers. And then we go on to Zenith Bank, closed 50 naira 20 kobo on Friday. It dropped to 45 naira based on the earlier panic today. But what do we have right now? It's up to 47 naira 25 kobo, 10 million bids versus 20 million offers. So this is what is happening with the banks at the moment. That initial dip that got people panicking is eventually withering away, and we are seeing a recovery already. Ladies and gentlemen, please confirm that you can hear me, because I'm seeing some comments about network and so on. Coach, why bank shares is dropping down? Dr. Abba, it's based on that CBN circular mandating banks to shore up their non-performing loans, and if they are not able to do that, then they will be suspended from paying dividends and giving bonuses to their management, and also opening foreign branches. All right, thank you very much for confirming that you can hear me. So that's what's happening in the banking sector. Now, I'd like to also let us know that these eventualities and volatility is always normal with the Nigerian market or any other stock market around the world. You just stay prepared and strike when you see opportunities. Alerted King says, I scooped some Zenith this morning. Congratulations. Especially if you scooped at 45, 45, because it's up to 47 already. I want to start buying shares. How do I start, Coach Dondolin? Well, if you want to start buying stocks, first open your stock brokerage account, and after you are done with that, then join us every day, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. Go ahead and watch my YouTube videos. There are helpful beginner guides over there. Just make sure you gather as much knowledge as you can so you can invest wisely. On what to invest, you may want to also be a part of this to ask a few questions, particularly outside the 2 hours daily live session Monday to Friday. You can also join us on Discord. So to open your brokerage account, follow me on Instagram. I'll send you a DM. To join the Network Investors Club on Discord app also, follow me on Instagram. I'll send you a DM. Dr. Dre says, I scooped Zenith at 45. I have sharp shooters in this house, and I must appreciate you all. Sharon Stone says, I bought UBA at 32. Congratulations. So this is what happens when you are investing from a knowledgeable point of view. While the market becomes irrational, you take advantage of their irrationality to make some fantastic moves. And I'm so proud of everybody here who saw opportunities and struck. And this is why a lot of times, hold your cash. Like I said, it's not every day that you must be in the stock market. In the end, opportunity will arise and you will need to strike, right? I missed great opportunity today because Atlas didn't credit me on time. Chiejine Ubome. Sorry about that. I know how that feels also. Fubziano says, please talk a bit about ETFs in Nigeria, particularly the fund management fees. Well, I'm not seriously invested in ETFs, so I really do not know exactly what fees are being charged. What I know is that the best ETF has always been the standard Stanbic IBTC 30, Stanbic IBTC 30 ETF. I even heard there was a serious decline in ETFs lately. In any case, that's the little I know. I really do not invest in ETFs because I find it a sluggish way of growing the money when I can actually put everything in the stock market and grow it there. So I'm still at that growing, money growing stage. I've not started looking for safety yet, though I am also invested in bonds, which guarantees more safety than even ETFs and mutual funds. I bought Fidelity and FBN at a very good price. Chiejine Ugbome. Let's maybe compensate ourselves and console ourselves with that move you made, even though you would have done more if not for the delay in crediting your account. But congratulations for that move. I am not liquid today, so could not strike. Edozie, I am in the same shoes like you. Couldn't make any move, but I was just licking my lips with all the opportunities I saw. I'm so angry with myself right now because I didn't know there was no holiday today, Baba Gift. So sorry about that. I myself got a bit confused this morning until I checked until I saw that there was no information regarding any public holiday. I saw Fidelity at 1765. Yes, good day, coach. I've registered in Atlas, but I haven't received the mail I was told that I'll get. Best Poke by Tolu. What you can do is quickly check your junk mail or spam mail box. Sometimes they send messages there. But the question I have is it up to 72 hours since you sent your form? 72 working hours. I mean, you don't count weekends and public holidays. If so, then check your spam mail box. Muhammad says, good morning, coach. I sent you a follow request on Instagram, but you're not responding. How do you mean follow request? Send me a DM after you have followed so I can respond to your questions. Is it possible to trade today? El Mag, absolutely. The market is open. Is it possible to trade in NSE? Nerich House, well, it's no longer NSE, it's NGX, because these days, NSE is Nairobi Stock Exchange, no longer Nigerian Stock Exchange. Oh, Mr. D. Abba, that was an opportunity that most of our people, as you have heard, have taken serious advantage of. UBA at 32 Naira 60 kobo, is it good to buy? Well, you better dive in because what we are seeing is something else. What are the opportunities today? The banking sector, beautifying shop. The banking sector gave a whole lot of opportunities that some people have capitalized on. Zenith Bank dropped to 45, but it's now 47. UBA dropped to around 32, it's now 34. First Holdco dropped to about 24, it's back to 26. Access dropped to 20, it's at 21. So there is a little bit of panic in the banking sector that made people sell off, wondering what is happening because of a CBN circular. And let me read it to some of us so we can get the full details of that circular. That's it there. We got the hint that some banks are operating under regulatory forbearance. Okay? So the Central Bank of Nigeria directed First Bank and other banks under regulatory forbearance to temporarily suspend dividend payments, defer bonuses for directors, as well as halt investments in foreign subsidiaries or offshore ventures. As for First Bank, their dividend has not been wonderful yet. We know it will. They are recovering from a mismanagement for many years that is being sorted out at the moment. So on their own, they've been doing the housekeeping, if you like. And so forbearance, for those who may want to understand better, refers to the temporary reduction or postponement of payments, such as loans or mortgages, usually introduced to give temporary relief to individuals and corporations, including financial institutions, encumbered by financial straits. Let me break it further down. There's something called non-performing loans in the banking industry. That is, loans that have been issued to individuals and organizations that have not been serviced when they should be. So all of those loans are classified as non-performing. You know, the bank gave out money to individuals or organizations, and organizations or the individuals who borrowed were supposed to now be paying back at specific periods. When that payment is being defaulted, then it is classified as non-performing loans. So in the books of banks, in the annual reports, they have a place where they report all non-performing loans. What CBN is saying is that you can't continue to operate without providing for these loans. And that's why you find in some financial statements, especially for banks that lend out money, you will see something called impairment charges. What is impairment? Provision for non-performing loans, so that you don't borrow out money from the bank and because they have defaulted, whoever borrowed the money, you are not able to recover. No. Before you go through the recovery process of maybe selling the collateral they gave for the loan and all that, before you legally and officially follow that process, you must provide money to make up for the gap. All right? It's almost like money is missing or money is stolen, but it's not stolen. It was officially loaned out. So what the CBN is saying is for all non-performing loans, you should not continue to operate the way you do every day, giving management and directors huge bonuses in tens of millions and hundreds of millions annually, going ahead to open branches of the bank outside the country, because those are extra expenses you are making, while not yet providing for the non-performing loans, meaning your house is dirty inside and you are going all out to decorate outside. So before you go and spend money decorating outside, make sure you tidy up inside first. Once there is stability inside, then you can go outside to do all what you want to do. That's why the CBN is saying you may not be allowed to pay dividends to shareholders, directors enjoying fat bonuses, and going out to keep funding foreign branches of the business, all right? Until you tidy up. Once you tidy up, fine. So my point is, there is no need reacting so quickly and selling off your stocks at giveaway prices, because these banks knows how to deal with these things. There are ways they can put up compliance procedures and provide for these non-performing loans. Okay, for those who sold their Zenith Bank at 45 Naira this morning, even before any news about compliance comes up, the stock price has jumped back to 47. Now, my question is, what if the banks now come out with very fantastic compliance plan, sits down with the CBN, and then the CBN now says, okay, go ahead, you can now go ahead and pay dividends? What becomes of your investment? You have just wasted your money. And then if you invested for the long term, especially in these big banks, there is no need to panic. After all, MTN couldn't pay dividend for 2024 financial year. The stock price dropped to 170 Naira per share. As at November last year, I started calling for people to buy MTN shares, because I think that the worst days for MTN was over. If you go through my these old videos on the YouTube channel, you may find it. What do we have as the price of MTN today? 325 Naira, just after 7 or 8 months of making that comment. Why? Because we understand this market. MTN shareholders didn't die. And now there's a lot of capital gains, still no dividend. So we are talking about the value of the investment that you made. It's not a hit and run. If you don't get dividend from one of your banks, in the next 1 year, it's not the end of the world. And this is why we diversify our investments across various sectors. I've spoken about diversification a lot. So you don't stick to, there was somebody whose most of his investments is in bank, and if you are expecting dividend cash flow, then that may not be the best, even if the banks have been most consistent in paying dividend. But what I'm saying is, worst case scenario, they are not allowed to pay dividend for 1 year. What happens? The world doesn't come to an end. They keep creating value because the directive by the CBN can only make them to create more value for the bank. So you are even selling cheaper than eventually what the bank will be valued for. So it doesn't make any investment sense, throwing away your investment because of one CBN circular. And then if you go through, most of the biggest banks are also involved because you can't easily write off the possibilities of non-performing loans as a bank, no matter how big you are. There will be defaulters here and there, especially the big insiders who are directors and related companies related to directors who come to collect loans, okay? Forbearance ended in December 2024, says Beauty Finds Shop. Well, CBN actually extended it to mid-2025, and this is mid-2025. At the end of this month, the first half will be over. So an extension period was given. This is the CBN coming out to let them know that, look, we're serious with this. Perhaps the banks didn't expect it to happen this way. Perhaps they were thinking the CBN will also waive it and try to carry on, for them to keep carrying on. But now that they are seeing a stronger stance by the CBN, what the banks will do is go back. I'm sure they're going to be having extraordinary general meetings here and there, or board meetings left, right, and center, in a bid to comply. Once they make provision for compliance, you will also see. Yeah? Spash says, well done, coach. Okay. JA says, ahead, if someone buys stocks that will be giving dividends this month or next month. JAs, I can't get you there. Coach, can I buy First Holdco and how much can I enter? First Holdco, let's see what it is at the moment. First Holdco currently at 26. I would say 26 is not bad, but it was recently selling for 25. In any case, I think you should buy less than 26. For First Holdco, it's possible to buy at 25, between 25.80 and 25.90. I like us to understand that we are in a marathon, and this is where a community comes in, because you always have where to fall back to get information and to stay on track, okay? You are not isolated and left alone wondering whether you are making the right decisions. We are all exchanging ideas, you know, and scoring the market for updates and so on, so we make informed investment decisions. Yes? So it is good that we are here, and let's continue to rub minds and exchange ideas. Coach, what's happening with Ella Lakes? The share price is going up. Well, Ella Lakes, based on the MD's call, you know, they had a live session where the MD updated them that their mill should be operational at the end of this month or something like that, because everybody is eager to see them produce, and let's be sure that revenue can be generated. But there is also something that I personally suspect, but I do not want to spoil the minds of Ella Lake holders. It's not something dangerous, but I am thinking, well, the interest is now high up, and the stock price is now rising. There is a chance that they may be raising capital. Yes. And so if they want to raise capital, then the stock price has to move to an extent so that they can easily raise whatever amount of capital they need to continue to expand the business. So Ella Lakes might just be recapitalizing, and we watch to see how high the price goes before the recapitalization. So just stay informed. But if you are buying for the very long term, maybe, just maybe, there's no need to worry. Enjoy the ride. Or if you want to buy and sell, maybe swing trade, enjoy the ride. But, like I said, we want to see them profitable. And for the first time, Ella Lakes perhaps might have generated revenues, but we are waiting for profits. Coach, please, is DataMax still in operation? Datamax is actually the registrars for GT Bank and perhaps Mansard Insurance. So they are still in operation, but I hear they are giving investors sleepless nights and tough time in getting back their dividends that they should have. Coach, you need sleep, your eye red. Well, I don't rest really. I really don't rest. I do a lot of work and many other activities to be ready and flying. Please, what is the good price for NIDF today? NIDF actually moved positively and closed at 18, right? 18, I mean 118 naira per share. So that 111 barrier was broken on Friday. There was a block transaction of over 100,000 shares, and for that reason, NIDF 118. So let's see how much it is right now. Still currently 118, though the average weighted average price today is 114. So maybe somebody can buy at 114. 101,000 bids versus 239,000 offers, though there are still offers at 118. So you may want to put in a bid, try to bargain at 114. 114 is a good bargain price. JA says, I heard Fidsin Mansard Champion will be paying dividends this month or next month. Is it okay to buy? Well, Fidsin has risen so high, you will be buying at a premium because we just watched Fidsin rise from 27 to 42 right now. Under 2 weeks. And we were just here watching. Mansard, I'll need to check to see. Okay, let me do that quick check on some of these stocks. First one you mentioned, you said Fidsin. Just a moment. That's Fidsin, July 14th. July 14th is the payment date. 1 naira per share was what they paid the last time. So maybe, just maybe, but the RSI for Fidsin is 97. When you have such a high RSI, it means that it has been overbought. And there is likely going to be a dip. Well, let's see how much Fidsin is at the moment. I saw a lot of magic happen this morning. Fidsin is still at 42 naira per share, 706,000 bids versus 31,000 offers. If you are happy with something like 1 naira per share, and maybe, hopefully, if they increase above 1 naira per share, then you can buy Fidsin. But for me, having watched it rise from 27, I don't see myself buying Fidsin at 42 right now. It's good, but not for me. Yes, so this morning I also saw FTN Cocoa doing some magic. At some point it was heavily sold down to 2 naira 52 kobo from the 2 naira 80 kobo it got to. And after that forceful sell down and it went into automatic full offer, suddenly there was a reversal again. And before you know it, back to 269. Currently 269, 1.9 million shares bidded for versus 7.2 million offers. That's FTN Cocoa. So I was going to check on the next stock mentioned by JA's. Mansard is the other one. Let's see Mansard, whether or not you can qualify for the dividend if you buy now. So if you buy Mansard now, it's obvious that very soon the dividend will be paid. How much dividend did they pay the last time? They paid 45 kobo per share the last time, which is not too bad for an insurance company coming up. Okay, so Mansard is okay even at the current price because Mansard is around 9 naira plus. Yes, Mansard Insurance currently 950. Not bad at all. Yes. And then the other one, you said Champion Breweries. I doubt if they can pay any reasonable dividend. Let's see how much was paid the last time. But before then, let's also check what's happening with the stock. Currently, 1.3 million bids versus 2.5 million offers. Mansard has really, Champion Breweries has really gone, made a leap, like most other breweries stocks in the exchange. Well, Champion has actually paid their dividend, 6 naira per share. They paid last month. 6 kobo, sorry. So Champion has paid 6 kobo dividend last month. So you shouldn't buy if you're looking for dividend because you will have to wait till next year. So Feedsin and Mansard are the two companies that you can still buy and get paid dividend very shortly. But for me, Feedsin is already overpriced. Mansard is more like it, if you like. Coach, talk about U.S. stock. Which stock should we go for? Ha ha ha. There's one penny stock that I was looking at in the U.S. market, but the U.S. market will have to sometimes don't rush in because of this breakout of airstrikes between Israel and Iran. Expect more dips in the U.S. market and then take position in the best of them. I could mention some that are supposed to be long-term stocks that could present very good opportunities. And let me mention then HIMS. And maybe I should also see what the prices are at the moment so we can determine what happens next. HIMS, for instance, is a good long-term U.S. stocks. Currently 55. This HIMS actually got to about 70 something earlier this year, just a few months ago, if you like. Let's see. HIMS is a good one to target and get into as long as the market keeps dipping. You know, it dipped just 2% last week, though, on Friday, though it's looking like in pre-markets, it's trying to gain a bit. So HIMS, a very good one to keep an eye on. Palantir. Now, because if the U.S. ever gets involved in this fight between Israel and Iran, then Palantir is a good stock because it's a defensive stock. I had published this particular stock, Palantir, because of the Israel-Iran fight. And you can see, even though it gained 1% on Friday, gaining $2.21 on Friday, currently in pre-market, it's gaining $3 again. That's 2.39%. On Friday, it closed at $137.40. In pre-market, it's now $140 as we speak. The market is not open yet in the U.S., but you can see that inside, like the video I made regarding the outbreak of these airstrikes between these two nations, inside every problem, an opportunity is there for you to take advantage of. If only you can have the mindset of the rich. The poor sees problems where the rich finds opportunities. Okay, so that's for Palantir. Then for I also mentioned a stock like BBAI. You would ask, why is Palantir gaining? Because it's a defense stock. Like I said, they are into most of the American defense expenses. Palantir has a good chunk, right? So in times of war or America participating in a war, they get sufficient allocation of defense expenses, right? Then the other one I mentioned also in that video when I talked about this war was BBAI. Let's see what the situation is with BBAI. So there are two ways to look at the situation. First, very good stocks that will be negatively affected and therefore sold off cheaply. You position very well, and then those who are meant to benefit from the current situation. You know, this experience I'm sharing with you was what happened 5 years ago during COVID. While so many other stocks were collapsing in COVID, now because of the nature of COVID, which is a stay-at-home situation that the whole world was forced into due to social distancing and the fear of catching COVID, what now happened is there were what I call stay-at-home stocks that benefited. For instance, people now had time to stay back at home, enjoy more time at home, and what would they be doing? Gaming stocks. The men, we always play games. And then we have, for the women and other movie buffs, you had a stock like Netflix flying to the moon, right? And then for office meetings, because people didn't need to go to the office for social distancing sake, people were now back at home and using Zoom app. So suddenly Zoom jumped from around $14 per share to about $400 per share at the height of COVID. And then that's not all. During that time also, there was the biotechnology firms that were going into all kinds of research for looking for cure for COVID. Every one of those companies were now flying because they had hope, the world had hope that they will come out with a discovery that will eventually make them serious revenues. Outside that, manufacturers of some of those medical equipment that we were using relentlessly, you know, those medical equipment that you keep reusing and using over and over again. Nose mask manufacturers, sanitizer manufacturers, all of those stocks were flying. So when there is a problem, just don't run away. There's an opportunity there. That's why the best risk takers are the richest people in the world, right? Go and profile somebody like Elon Musk of Tesla. You will find that he's one of the highest risk takers. And that's why he's the richest man today. We are not saying take careless risk in the name of taking risks to become wealthy. No, take calculated risks. That's why we are here. All right? So we are here to always look for these opportunities and point them out. I was talking about BBAI. Let's see what's happening with it. On Friday, it closed at $3.72, currently $3.79. So little by little, it's just gaining 1.88%, almost 2% in pre-market, all right? So that's the way it works. Frank Hannon says, how can we buy stock? Open a stock brokerage account, register, fund your account, get knowledge, go to my YouTube channel, and come on this daily live session every day, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time. We analyze the markets and give you real-time details of what's going on so you can position yourself and take advantage. If you are not following me, you are losing a lot of money. You will soon know in the course of this live session. This is not a hype. This is based on the realities of what has happened with those who have taken advantage of the knowledge being shared here. Coach, what are you buying today? What are we buying today? Ebuka, it depends on which market. If you want the Nigerian market, let's see. Then, of course, I will also tell you a few things about most of those stocks I mentioned that ran away from us, ACMR and all that, those long-term stocks. Don't miss the opportunity to get them now that the market is dipping. Talk about bank stocks, please. Susan, Botanical Garden. I've just spoken at length about bank stocks. What you will do, everybody listening, whatever part you miss, just go back to my YouTube channel. The link is on my bio there. Click on the link tree. You will see all my social media handles. Follow me on Instagram for those who want to start investing, and send me a DM for the link to open your brokerage account and the link to join our Network Investors Club, all for free. Then as you keep listening and watching the beginner guide videos on my YouTube channel, then you can be able to start planning what to do and what not to. Feel free to ask as many questions as possible in the Discord app where we have Network Investors Club. So send me a DM asking to join the club as well. I'll forward the link to you. Yeah, so a lot have been explained regarding these banks and the situation with them in the earlier stages of today's live session. latest on or before 6 p.m. Nigerian time today, today's live session will be uploaded on the YouTube channel for those of us who are in America because of time difference, and Canada who may not be able to meet up, and those who are at work if you are in Nigeria, all right? So that's the way we do it here. Please, what's the last US stock you called? BBAI was what I called. Very cheap, $3.72. It closed, but it's now $3.80. It's gaining 2% already. So it's going to this type is actually a swing trade. Don't stay too long in it. If you see reasonable gains, you jump out. Now let me tell you something. HUSA and NIDO are the others in the oil, because Iran is a major oil producer, in fact, the number 3 ranked OPEC oil producing nation in the world, and they are at war, meaning there will be short supply of their oil to the international oil market. And for that reason, that's why oil prices are going up. When oil prices goes up because of wars involving oil nations, what happens is you go for the oil stocks. And the most volatile of them, HUSA, H-U-S-A. I mentioned it in my video, and guess what? It made over 100% on the first day when the war broke out. That watch list my oil watch list was something I prepared since 2022, 3 years ago. That was when Russia-Ukraine war broke out. Of course, again, those two are oil producers, and oil was affected, and I know how they perform. So I just went back to that my oil watch list of 3 years ago, and I saw how all of them gained on day one. Now let's see how they are doing. HUSA, H-U-S-A, Houston American Energy Corporation. What did we have? Look at it. 119% gained on day one after the airstrikes. But you know what? It's dropping drastically now in the pre-market, $11.9. $11.90, dropping 23%. Yes? Another one, which is a bigger oil company compared to HUSA, that didn't do much more, that I expect there is still value in it. Now, because HUSA has already done 100 and something percent in one day, I do not expect that it keeps running. But the other company, Indo, I-N-D-O, Indonesian oil, right? That's the one that didn't climb too much, that I expect to try to gain more today. Let's see what happened last Friday and what's happening in the pre-market. Well, Indo is at 518. It gained 46% on the first day, but currently also dropping 13% right now. So you want to keep your eyes on those two, especially those who have technical analysis knowledge of stock price movement, because that's what you use for day trades and maybe swing trades. So keep your eyes on these two for the purpose of the war. Should the war continue and there is no space for any form of resolution, these stocks will continue to be volatile, up and down, and you can make quick money out of them, trading them short term, right? Because, Donald Trump has said there will soon be peace, but, nobody takes him too seriously these days. And so you want to just watch and see what happens with these particular names. Okay. Victor Wells says health sector stock went high. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't notice that. I haven't checked. Okay. Let me see what is happening with UNH. Remember the scandal and the situation surrounding UNH that saw the stock price drop from over $400 to about 200 and something. And then I started saying buy, buy, buy. Let's see what's the situation with UNH because of Victor's update right now. United Health Group Incorporated. Let's see what's happening with them. Are they up to 300? Well, $313. I remember they crashed to about 200 and something. That's it there. 15th of May, $254 per share. You can see, as at just last month, say one month ago, $254 it was, but there you are, 313 as we speak. It didn't gain on Friday, it actually lost 1%, currently losing 0.11% in pre-market. So this stock is meant to find its way back up and try to recover fully, because 6 months ago, it was selling at 590. In fact, this is April. As at 11th of April, UNH was as high as $599 per share. So sometimes there are strategies you can use to save money and be safe. When a stock dips so low because of one momentary incident, you know that it can't drop any further. You dive in. Imagine you bought at 250 something, and after it dropped from 599, well, no matter what's happening in the market now, no matter the depression in the market, it's still at 313, above what you bought. Yeah? Okay. Coach, I'm currently using the Yocha app. Should I continue using it? Yocha, I've always heard about Yocha, but I need to know what company is behind Yocha. Are they registered brokers? Coach, how much should I bid for First Holdco and UBA? AY. First Holdco, let's not guess, because this live session is all about situation reports. If it was as at Friday, I would say 28 is okay. But after that news about the CBN, forcing banks to comply, we can see First Holdco dipped and then came back up. It's currently 26. I think you should bid from 25.90. It's possible at 25.90. By the way, NIDF, somebody has sold off at 113. And then while we were still speaking about that, May and Baker continues to rise. Currently 16 naira 90 kobo. Gaining 1 naira 50 kobo. Is something brewing in May and Baker? We will find out. What stock brokerage do you advise or open? Pets or Paideia? I would advise you use Atlas Portfolios. Do I have callers in the house? Nobody is calling today. Okay, that gives me stability here to keep going. Coach, between First Holdco and Honeywell Floor, which do I go for? I think you should go for... We do not really know how much upside is left in Honeywell Floor, but maybe you should go ahead with Honeywell and come back to First Holdco later. What stocks to buy today? JACE. Well, the banking stocks presents fantastic opportunities after that dip. Please, Coach, is QTix a good buy at 314? Yes, I think so. Duval. Just buy, especially if you are buying for the long term. And then other stocks to add. The market is currently ignoring NEM Insurance. Now, NEM Insurance has fantastic numbers. I repeat. Let's take a look at what they have. NEM. I know one of us, Uncle Willie bought NEM Insurance at about 50 kobo or so per share some years ago. 50 kobo per share. Imagine a stock you bought 50 kobo per share is currently at 15 naira per share. Oh my God. No matter how long ago he bought that stock, let's do this maths together. Let's assume, as at that time, he had 1 million naira to buy NEM Insurance. 1 million naira divided by 50 kobo per share, 0.5. He would have gotten 2 million shares of NEM with just 1 million naira. Now, that 2 million shares currently, how much is NEM Insurance? Let's go and see. On the live chat, NEM is currently selling at about, let's see, 15 naira 80 kobo per share. Can you see that? 15 naira 80 kobo currently per share, 1.6 million bids versus just 65,000 offers. Only 65,000 shares on offer. So at 15 naira 80 kobo, his 2 million shares will be 2 million times 15.8. What he bought for with 1 million naira is now worth 31,600,000. Isn't it amazing? And this brings me to people who always complain about, oh, you can't change naira foreign exchange to naira to invest in the naira because of devaluation. Come and help me explain how investing like this can actually still make you lose money because of devaluation or inflation. Look at that. 1 million naira, I don't know how many years ago, but however long ago, is now worth 31.6 million. If you can settle down and have a strategy, stick to it, and follow it religiously, trusting the process, all else that you need is time. Everything will align, and you will see that money is not difficult to make. So discard the old mentality and all of the cultural, mental blockages that we have created because we were taught growing up that money is difficult to make. Whereas money answers to opportunities with knowledge. If you can have the knowledge to capitalize on the opportunities, fantastic. So what was I saying? As we speak now, NEM insurance is looking very good, and yet the market seems to have ignored it for so long. In any case, while I'm still speaking, it's now at 16 naira. Okay, let's go and see the details. When you find a company whose revenue is higher than its market capitalization, understand that there is an imbalance. Market capitalization is the total number of shares times the market price, meaning the entire market values the NEM business at the current 75.25 billion naira. That's the market capitalization. Now, compare that to the revenue of the last year, 88.92 billion. They are making much more revenue than the market is valuing the company itself. Right? One clear sign that a stock might be undervalued. That's not how to measure when a stock is undervalued, but that's a sign. The money you are generating is far more than the valuation the entire market is giving you at that point. That's number one. From a revenue of 88.92 billion, NEM Insurance is making a net income of 31.5 billion. That's very commendable because I can see a fantastic margin there. Fantastic. You make 88 billion. It's like making, for every 88 naira made, you are retaining 31 naira as profit. That's a whole lot of margin. For a business like this, that's a whole lot, right? Shares outstanding is 5 billion shares. Now, earnings per share, 6 naira 27 kobo. Who does that? So NEM Insurance can comfortably pay 3 naira per share. How much did NACO pay? NACO paid 5 naira 93 kobo. NEM Insurance can actually pay that 5 naira 93 kobo from this 6 naira 27 kobo. But you know what? Last dividend they paid was 1 naira. That means out of 6 naira 27 kobo, they retained 5 naira 27 kobo and paid out only 1 naira. What does that tell you? It means their cash pile, their general reserve must be swelling. That's NEM Insurance, and the market has just been watching until maybe attention shifts to a stock like this, right? Now, this is what happens. Now, if you take a look at the RSI, it is saying 69, which is to say it is overbought. But I am thinking, where did they buy the NEM to the extent it is now overbought? I don't know. What I'm seeing before me is a compelling buy for me. Okay, I'm seeing a very interesting discussion here. Somebody is mentioning, saying, Some people bought, where is it? I like divergent views, all right? Oh, I saw somebody saying that some people bought Skybank and all that. Where is it? I need that comment. We have to be all inclusive. I can't run away from the fact that people will have divergent views, and it's good to settle it. I like settlement. I'm looking for that comment now. I can't find it. Somebody was saying some people bought Skybank, and I'm sure the person was mentioning all the dead companies. Where are they? Oh my God, can't find them. Oh my God. Well, let me help that. Let me still try to react to that. The people who went to buy Skybank and all the dead companies, the question I have is, what knowledge did they have before venturing into it? Because the same way you can go, if you like, because Chukudi is buying and selling cement, you have no idea of the details of how to go about that business. You jump into buying and selling cement. You will run at a total loss and run out of that business. Chukudi will still be in that business. You don't jump into the stock market like it's one get-rich-quick scheme that you can just manipulate by yourself with no idea of how it happens. And you don't have anybody you are leaning on to use his experience. You will lose money in stocks like every other business that you jump into without knowledge. That's why in this community, while we are guiding you and helping you to point you to where to invest, we also point you to knowledge. Because in the end, the knowledge you gather is what will save you in case they shut down these social media platforms. And that's why I tell people, follow me on all social media handles, because this morning, even Instagram locked me out again. I had to appeal. Unfortunately, it didn't take 30 minutes before I was reinstated, and I can talk to you now on Instagram. You might wake up one day and they ban TikTok. What do you do? That's why I'm on YouTube. If you are listening to me now, go on the YouTube, go and subscribe. Should you not find me on any live session, I'll go and do YouTube live. In fact, this live session is about to be extended to YouTube so that by all means, if one fails, the other one is working. But most importantly, the knowledge you have gathered will now help you navigate your way after you take your initial baby steps being guided. That's what it's all about. I could have as well kept quiet and stayed on my own, but the point is, okay, the opportunities that I did not capitalize on this morning in the banks, others did. That's the point. By all means, people should be able to make money out of a system that I have benefited from, even when I am not able to participate. Before your very eyes, I was talking about how I was thinking that buy Qtix at 250, Qtix jumped above 3 naira, and I've not been able to buy. But there are many who were able to key in, and they are benefiting. That's the point we are making here. So if you went and bought Skybank and all those dead banks that time, for whatever reason, without knowledge, you suffer. Now, I am not blaming the person who bought or the people who bought and lost. I am blaming the stockbrokers of those days who recruit people and don't train them. We were among those who they misled into buying nonsense that time. I won't kid you. It's true, it's real. Good. Skybank, Etisalat was not quoted, sir. JK Banks, Etisalat was not quoted in the stock exchange. But Skybank, Oceanic Bank, in any case, even the Oceanic that crashed, do you know that Eco Bank Transnational acquired it? So if somebody is, now, lack of knowledge will make somebody who had Eco Bank, right, still be lying down there nursing his wounds and crying that he bought stocks in Eco Bank and Eco Bank has collapsed, not knowing that Eco Bank has been acquired long ago, that time, by Oceanic Bank, sorry. He bought Oceanic Bank has crashed, he's crying, not knowing that he is now entitled to some quantities of EcoBank Transnational, ETI, which took over Oceanic Bank. Lack of knowledge will keep that person frustrated and lose out and spend the rest of his life in penury, not knowing that he has stocks in Oceanic Bank by reason of, EcoBank, by reason of EcoBank acquiring the dead Oceanic Bank. Have you not realized that in every branch of Oceanic Bank of those days, it's now EcoBank Transnational? So there was a scheme of agreement to buy over acquisition of Oceanic by EcoBank. That deal was done and dusted. Do you know that after Oceanic was acquired by EcoBank, whatever dividend EcoBank has been paying before, you are entitled to it. But lack of knowledge will keep you there still crying that the stock market is a scam. Right? So let's understand and go for knowledge. You don't know what knowledge can deliver you from. That's what we are saying. That people who invested money and lost in poor stocks was purely based on ignorance. And now we have the internet. So we should take advantage of that and get knowledge and be guided and go ahead with our investing without the fear. You know, Warren Buffett, the greatest investor, even said, risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. So if you don't know what you are doing, you are surely going to lose money, not only in stocks, in crypto, in real estate, in Forex, in whatever business buying and selling that you do, you will lose money. Get knowledge and you will wonder why people are losing money. That's the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, She Lawyer is informing us that today is her birthday. Congratulations, She Lawyer, and happy birthday to you. We are hoping that this birthday is much more fatter in terms of your net worth than the previous. And what that means is that going forward, your future birthday celebrations, you will be in your most multiplied states financially. Congratulations and happy birthday to you, She Lawyer. All right, Coach, what price can I bid UACN? Happy joy. Let's see. UACN. UACN. Wow, UACN currently 35 naira 10 kobo. 3.4 million bids. Wow, okay. Maybe you should bid at 34.75 or 35. If you are patient, 34.75. Otherwise, put in a bid at 35. You are most likely going to buy today. Coach, what is your view in relation to nuclear energy stocks on the NASDAQ? Nuclear energy stocks, especially if the U.S. eventually participates. But remember, the Defense Secretary of the United States had already mentioned before the retaliatory attack from Iran that U.S. was not a part of that Israeli strike, so that they put Iran on notice that our hands are not in it. So when you are retaliating, know where you are retaliating, so you don't come and strike us, because if you do, we will respond. So at this point, nuclear energy stocks may just be warming up, pending when the U.S. gets involved directly. That's my take on that. Uyi West says, my registration with Atlas 2 weeks ago hasn't been confirmed. So let me check and see if Atlas is on ground. Their hands are very full these days, I guess. I don't think we saw them on Friday. I'm not even seeing enough guests on the list to follow up and check for Atlas. In any case, I can't find Atlas. If they're around, we will find them. Okay, is Okomo Oil a good buy? Certified loaner. Okomo Oil. Okomo Oil will always be a good buy as long as Presco is doing well. And by the way, Okomo is not bad at all. They always give Presco a chase and a run for their money. Currently, Okomo is at 649 naira per share. I know it's trying to gather some strength again. A bid and offer status about 400,000. Balanced equilibrium. 649 is the going price at the moment. Maybe 645 can also work. But if you put in 650, then you can be able to buy immediately. Omobi, thank you very much. Appreciate the gifts. Sir, can I buy Fidelity now? I have some before and Zenith. That's coming from Gift. Yes, you can. This is a good time to buy. I wish you were asking this question much earlier because Fidelity was selling for around 17. Let's see how much it is. After that initial panic in the banking sector, Fidelity Bank is currently at 18 on the dot. I saw it selling at 17.90 and so on, but currently at 18. It's actually possible that you may be able to buy at 17.80. Why do I say so? Current bid and offer status, 5 million bids versus 17 million offers. So the panic there has not disappeared, but if you like, buy at 18. Otherwise, put in, okay, you can decide to buy some at 18 and then put in a bid at 17.80 for the others. Just in case it drops further, then that averages down for you and for your benefit. Coach, please briefly, these things are skipping. Sorry about that. Briefly talk about Honeywell floor. Well, for Honeywell floor, nobody knows what happens until there is a definite statement regarding the buyout and delisting, buyout of minority shareholders and delisting of the stock from the NGX. For those who may not know, Honeywell floor is about being delisted and becoming private again. The parent company is trying to do that because the parent company itself just got delisted some months ago. That's talking about Flour Mills of Nigeria. So when that news broke out, Honeywell flour was around 4 naira 90 kobo or so. Today it's 22, so a lot of us benefited massively. Imagine buying a stock around November at 4 naira 95 or even 5 naira or 6 naira in January. That same stock is currently at 22 naira per share. Check out how much. If you put in 6 million that time to buy 1 million shares at 6 naira per share, now that 6 million is worth 22 million naira if you sell today. That's why it's difficult for us to really say whether or not we should keep buying at 22 because we've seen it rise so high. And you don't want to recommend a stock that someone buys and then it drops. In any case, it is not likely to sell lower than that by the time the company eventually comes out to say they want to pay off minority shareholders. Because there will then be a court-ordered meeting for shareholders' approval, and shareholders will not come and say, okay, pay us 15 naira per share, even though the stock price is 22 in the market right now. Never. And that's why most of us are still seated in the boss firmly, staying very patient and focused. Some people might have sold at 10, some at 15, but here we are at 22. We have no idea what the actual valuation will be in the end. That's the situation with Honeywell floor. Coach, having a stockbroker before and having Morgan, does it mean I have 2 CHN CSCS accounts? There is a possibility of that. And it's also possible that before they open your CSCS account, that is the second broker, they must have found that you already have a CSCS and they will go ahead to incorporate that one. Prime P says, Coach, what is CSCS and CHN number? CSCS is Central Securities Clearing System, the central depository of all shares traded on the stock exchange. Now, that is outside the control of the stockbrokers, and that's why when a stockbroker goes out of business, you can actually still have your shares if you register with another stockbroker and transfer them. All right? And then CHN is clearinghouse number. Clearinghouse number has to do with what stockbroker are you registering with. They issue you a number tied to you alone. So the clearinghouse is the clearing stockbroker. You understand that now? So different stockbrokers issue different clearinghouse numbers. Coach, NEM and Cornerstone Insurance, which, oh my God, this thing is skipping so fast. Which is a better buy? Okay, I've taken a look at NEM. Let's take a look at Cornerstone. Stone, right? All right. Just a moment. NEM and Cornerstone. This is NEM. We'll do a side-by-side comparison now and see how it compares with Cornerstone in terms of earnings per share. Both of them are in the same sector, the insurance sector, so it will be nice to compare them. I know NEM is quite bigger than they are, but it's good to also see exactly what's obtainable. Is it Cornerstone, right? This thing has dropped. Okay, Cornerstone. Okay, for comparison's sake, Cornerstone, oh wow, Cornerstone is looking nice too. Market capitalization 67 billion versus NEM. The truth is NEM is quite bigger than it. Revenue of Cornerstone is 44 billion, NEM is 88 billion. So that's like double what Cornerstone is generating as revenue, annual revenue, right? Net income 10 billion for Cornerstone versus 31 billion for NEM. Okay, shares outstanding, this is where the problem is. Yeah. So you see, that's why it's good to really compare companies in the same sector and check them side by side. Cornerstone, I have a problem with it. The shares outstanding is bloated, in fact, over bloated. 18 billion shares. 18 billion shares, meaning to pay 1 naira per share, they need 18 billion naira extracted from their profit after tax or their net income. While Cornerstone has 18 billion shares, NEM has just 5 billion shares. Can you see that now? Just 5 billion shares. Hold on, and then for that reason, the earnings per share, no matter the fact that they made a lot of billions in net income, the earnings per share is now reduced to 57 kobo, not even up to 1 naira per share. Whereas NEM has about 6 naira 27 kobo. You see why you need to also be cross-checking these things and knowing which companies has too many shares in circulation, which is called shares outstanding. You want to be careful not to just buy because it's cheap, because in the end, it now brings you down to the PE ratio. While Cornerstone has a PE ratio of 6.52 times, NEM has a PE ratio of 2.39, very low. And for PE ratio, that metrics, the lower the PE ratio, the cheaper the stock, right? I'd like you to understand all of this. And good 18, we have 2 callers for today. But before I go on to those calls, obviously, between NEM and Cornerstone, I'll go with NEM, going by what we have there. Because even at 15 naira, NEM with a PE ratio of less than 3 is cheaper than a Cornerstone that is at 3 naira. Yes, because of the higher PE ratio to start with. So if you just take a look at the price per share alone, you get deceived. Now, you saw why the PE ratio for Cornerstone is higher, meaning it is more expensive than for NEM, because they have too many shares to distribute the income that they have made or the profit they have made. All right, I'll go on to take on these questions. Richie's Hair Empire. Let's hear you. Hello? Okay, while we are still connecting, maybe I should take one more question. So which site are you using for the comparison on NEM and Cornerstone? Woody. Okay, that's, I reproduced it. It's stock analysis. I can always give you that, Mr. Woody. By the way, you have been scheduled for this week. I'll give you updates also. All right? We have a more practical session. Coach, talk about VFD, please. Well,
Good afternoon, sir.
hear from our caller. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Good afternoon to you. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Rich is from Benin.
Riches, thank you for joining from Benin. How are you doing?
Fine, sir. Please, sir, talk about Atlas. Talk about how it is done. Most of us are new here. We don't even understand anything. We are just lost.
I should talk about Atlas.
Yes, talk about how they are doing their own things, how and something like that. Me, I don't even have an idea of anything people are saying. So I just confused.
Oh, Riches. I don't know why I have very few short list of attendees on the queue. Okay, it's going now. I'm trying to search for them first. Now tell me, what's your challenge with the Atlas this time?
I don't even know how Atlas is operating. No, but no, I started. They actually give me my login details on Friday. So I've logged in. So I changed my password. So I just for a start I transferred 5,000 naira. But I know now that they do the 5,000 naira. I don't even know. And I just confused. I'm not seeing it on the platform or I don't even understand.
All right, Riches, don't worry. That's why we're here. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel?
Yes,
Free of charge, right?
yes.
Very simple. There is a video explaining exactly how to navigate that Atlas platform.
Okay, thank you.
Just take your time, go there and enjoy. If you have any concerns, to make it even easier, I did an earlier video with Morgan Capital Platform, which is very similar and exact with what Atlas is giving us. Just in case that one confuses you, maybe it's too long, you lose concentration, go on those other two. I stated the title is How to Invest in How to Trade Nigerian Stocks on Morgan Capital Platform. Two 15-minute videos each for that one. Simple. You will not
Okay.
worry anymore.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
I have another question. Sorry for the time.
Okay.
How do I get MTN shares? MTN shares for my husband. My husband is interested in that MTN shares.
Riches, God bless you for being a wonderful wife.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sure your husband will value you even more by the time you give him money making opportunities like this. First off, you have registered with your Atlas Portfolios account, you have logged in, that's where you can buy MTN shares. So, what is left for you now is to go through those videos, then you will be able to search MTN out and show him. Say, honey, see MTN here. How much do you have? Let's pay into the account and then we can start buying.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
All right.
I
Thank you
really
very much.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, TY, you are the next line. If you are not following me, you are losing money. Whether you are investing in the Nigerian exchange or foreign stocks in the US market, you better keep your ears. Opportunities keeps flying. You keep enjoying it. Don't miss out. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Tayo. I'm calling from the UK. So
Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
so I came across your platform, I think last week, Wednesday. So that was the first time I came across your platform. So I heard a lot of things. So I've not tried to watch a lot. So I don't want to bore you with some of the questions because I know I need to go to your YouTube and probably that will help me. For myself, I think 2 months ago I started to know about stocks. So in the UK, I've just opened a trading 212 app. I think I've just deposited there twice. I've done it in the last 2 months. So my first question will be, is it financially okay for me to do the same on the Nigeria Stock Exchange, even though I've just started in the UK?
Absolutely, it is. And with a platform like the community we have here, you will be most properly guided. We are also on Discord app. What you can do is search me on Instagram, send me a DM, I'll forward the link to you. There, you can ask questions or just sit back, watch discussions on Nigerian stocks, and participate if you like. But that also gives you a good idea of what to expect. We have two channels in that Discord app, one for NGX discussions, the other for foreign stocks discussions, because we have over 2,240 members in that Discord group right now, made up of Nigerians abroad, in Nigeria, and some foreigners. So it's a fantastic place to be outside the daily 2 hours live stream I do here.
All right, thank you. I've followed you on Instagram and I've just subscribed to your YouTube today. That's my
Awesome.
number one question. So number two question is because I just got this interest in stock. I think 2 months ago, I began to do some searches and I found out that my parent, my mom and my dad, had done these talks in the past and they don't even remember anything. Like you were saying about the Oceanic Bank, my mom had some shares with Oceanic and she had thought she's lost all of them, like you said earlier, until I went to the database of the Nigerian, I don't know, the government website. I put her name there. I saw it with EcoBank. I put my dad there. I think my dad had one since 1991 or so with Nigerian breweries. He's forgotten about it totally until I went there. I saw their names and I told them, both of them in Nigeria. But the problem, the challenge is they don't know how to access these shares that I've just found for them now.
If you notice the moment we started talking about, onto the screen to see if they have to do a search, but you already done a search, right? Now,
Yes.
you are about to unlock some unclaimed serious money, especially for your dad who invested in Nigerian breweries, because Nigerian breweries were the blue chip companies of those days. For those of us who are in stocks, you understand what blue chip means. That's the biggest and best companies to invest in. And that means he has a lot of unclaimed dividends, depending on the volume of Nigerian brewery shares he has. So you are just about to unlock some hidden money for your dad. I'm sure he's going to be proud of you. So what to do very quickly, if you remember what you saw when you did the search, you will see their name on the left, and
Yes.
directly after each name, you will see the registrars of the company's name in the form of a
Exactly.
link.
Yes, exactly.
Click on that link, a drop down menu will appear where you are now required to fill in their bank details. Fill in the bank details for them, ask for their bank details, just do this for them and submit. They
I
will
did
be
that. I did that, but it
done.
didn't work. I tried to put the VV. I think he asked for their BVN and some details like that, but it wasn't going through. So I thought probably because I'm doing it from the UK, I asked them to do it on their phone. I had to guide them on their phone to do it, and the same thing. It didn't work out.
Well, I wouldn't know why it's not working. It's supposed to work. Because we've had a lot of others calling me here to say, wow, coach, that thing worked. My father in law in the village suddenly called me and said they were just receiving alerts left, right, and center. In any case, in any case, send me a DM on Instagram. Let's redo. I want to send you the one I share. I don't know where you checked, right? If it's the same, we have a second approach, which is for you to help them open a brokerage account, most probably maybe Atlas Portfolios, so that the broker can follow it up from their end.
Oh, good, good
That
one.
way, most registrars are also more relaxed and comfortable with unclaimed dividends being processed through a broker because they can trust that the broker has done the due diligence themselves.
All right, okay. So I'll send you a DM, like you have said. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye. Okay. Who else was standing by? Clinton. After Clinton, it has to be Splash. Now I have a lot of callers. Let's go there. Coach, which is a good buy between FCMB Group and Sterling Financial. Both of them are not in my very solid bank books. In any case, between FCMB and Sterling, I will go with FCMB. Hello. Hello, Clinton. Right. Clinton is not aware he is in call. So we go on to Flash.
Hello, coach. Good afternoon.
Access a good buy. Well, access should be a good buy. Hello, good afternoon. Please
Yeah,
tell
hello,
us your
coach. Good afternoon.
name from.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Abuja.
Emmanuel from Abuja, we are excited to have you. Go ahead. Hello, Emmanuel, are you there?
Hello, coach.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I said my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Abuja.
Hello, Emmanuel. Go ahead. Nice to have you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate you for good job you're doing. I just joined, I think, last month. I came across your live and then I followed,
Wow.
and you are doing
Just nice.
incredibly well.
Thank you.
I also I created a brokerage account with Atlas, and at first I was very confused as anything, just like a caller was saying. So I just took out time to. I just want to encourage all these new people coming to. The Atlas platform can be intimidating at first, but once if you can locate that YouTube video and then you watch it carefully, I think you will become a pro within a day. So I can now buy. I can now buy. Usually, I just buy the market price. I don't bid. But right now, I bid. I go back to edit the offer. If I think nobody is trying to sell for me, I go back to edit, adjust upward or downward. So I think it's very, very incredible, and I appreciate it. And
Fantastic.
I want to encourage you because teaching is not easy. It requires patience, and you're a patient man. So may God continue to guide you, and we'll make it this year with stocks, God's willing.
Amen. You know how I say it? We will make money this year. You
Yes,
see?
sir.
Your mindset is so already in tune. You almost say the words that I speak. We will make money this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Really
coach. Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my Instagram handle and my YouTube handle, Wealth Coach Omiete there. I'm seeing someone is asking, what is your YouTube handle? That's it right there. Wealth Coach Omiete. Search me out and follow. Subscribe, it's free. Get in there and you can always go back and watch the YouTube videos just like he has just said. There is a lot for you if you can navigate your way down. Search out those beginner guide videos for those who are just starting and acquaint yourself with the knowledge that people are actually paying for. It's all free. And you know what? Go ahead and share, right? And then very soon we'll form a community on YouTube as well. And then you can show appreciation on that channel, giving thanks, giving likes, and whatever it is. Maybe a subscription for special. We will work out something for those who will benefit even more based on their participation. Coach is indeed a very patient man. This Ebele, thank you very much. It's been a while. I know you are nursing your portfolio and they are growing very well by God's grace. Coach, what price can I bid USCN? USCN was always available at 33, but I guess it's left that arena right now. Let's see how much it is. Right, I've been logged out again. I'll have to log back in so we can take a good look at what the situation is with UACN, right? Okay. UACN is currently at 35, but I think you can put in a bid at 34.75. 34.75 or 34.70. With dividend shares, we buy today with 500k chuk. Dividend stock with 500k. I would say now if you are thinking dividends, you don't want to put fresh funds into banks. Let's hear what the banks say based on the new CBN directive so that you can tell whether or not you should expect dividend anytime soon. Because some of the banks are supposed to be paying interim dividend in October. That's still a long time. Let's see what happens, what they do, because there's going to be a whole lot of realignment, and before you know it, some of these banks will make provision for those non-performing loans, and then they'll be good to go to continue their dividend payouts. 500k, what stock to buy? Just a moment, still checking through. Oh my goodness, NEM has jumped to 1640. Wow. Could it be somebody here who is buying NEM? Well, the bids are increasing, 1.8 million shares. 500k dividend stock, we're still searching. Well. I would have said Aradel, but I've said too much of Aradel, so maybe go with UACN. Though the dividend is not too fantastic, but I am sure they will improve on it. Yes, we have more callers standing by. Mary Talks Money should be our next on the line.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Very good afternoon to you, Mary. I can see your name already. Please tell us where you're streaming from.
Okay, good afternoon, Coach. I'm streaming from Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mary from Lagos. We are glad to have you here. Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I want to appreciate you for the good work you're doing, and I also commend your patience.
Really?
It's facts. It's in fact top notch. I was saying, Mama, that Coach is the most patient person I've seen. The way you answer questions and be patient is something good. And then same thing. I just wanted to ask about stock that I can invest in today. I think I came late, so I wanted to buy some stocks today. So I don't know which. You were talking about I think Mossad, something like that. Just wanted to ask if I can go ahead and buy that.
Okay, I was talking about Mansard when you tuned in.
Yes.
Perhaps I was talking about it because J. Ace from China asked a question about what stocks are available to buy and benefit from the dividends next month or something close to a month's time. That was what made me speak about Mansard at that point. Well, for you, we want to know exactly what your investment goal is. so that you are not told to buy stocks randomly. What's your investment goal particularly? Are you looking at long-term dividend income opportunities that could also have some capital gains in them? Oh, looks like Mary is muted.
Okay, I
We seem to be having a challenge with her connection there. Are you there?
yes, yes. The network is
Okay.
having.
Response to my last question. Okay, I'll just go ahead so we can save you the time because time is fast running out. I would advise you can buy TIP. It has good potentials for long-term growth. It's a value stock. Give it time. I will also advise a stock like I don't know what the capital is also, and this is not what you want to discuss in four.
I'm looking at a million or something.
Okay. Buy some tip, then go in for some strong stocks. I'm seeing Dangote sugar dropping to 39. That's not bad. Maybe it needs a little bit of patience because I'm seeing 3 million bids versus 600,000 offers, meaning the bids are more than the offers. Or buy tip and let's say UACL. Tip and UACL. Possibly if you can add name insurance, but I do not like also to over diversify when the fund is too much. Yes, so that you don't have your stocks scattered all over the place. But
Okay.
name insurance is looking very good, especially considering the fact that a stock like custodian insurance, which is the biggest insurance company and the most expensive, is already at 26. I think I've made some really good recommendations there. Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now the calls are building up. Let's do this very fast. Jubilee Online Store. You are next in line. Sir, is Japol Oil and Maritime still existing? I bought some shares years back and still have the certificate. Raymond, they are existing, but this time they say they are into mining as well. And so they are now known as Japol Gold.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Very good afternoon to you, sir. Please tell us your name
Oh,
and where
good
you're speaking
afternoon.
from.
My name is Jubilee, and I'm streaming from Lagos.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jubilee. It's good to have you. I have my biggest, greatest number of followers in Lagos. Indeed. It shows today. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I've never been interested in stock until recently. So, and of course, my FYP has been bringing me stuffs about stock. It was not until this morning, as in this afternoon, when I saw your live on TikTok, that I got to remember that my mom bought one stock from EcoBank. So when you even mentioned EcoBank, that as in it clicked in my head that my mom bought stock with EcoBank like 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
Okay.
So she actually abandoned it because it was not giving her what she was expecting. So I don't know how can I retrieve or get help maybe sell that stock again. What agency do I need to visit to get to know about that stock and sell it off for her?
You just need a stockbroker, but the account will be open for her because the stock is in her name. What you will do is first, let's try to do a quick check whether she has unclaimed dividend. What's her full name?
I think she bought it in my name. That was Uku Jubilee. Yes, Jubilee. Jubilwe. Uku. UKU. Sir?
Uku, is it UKWU?
I don't know what but she told me she got it in my name. It's either UKU or UKWU, then Jubilee. I am suspecting it's UKU.
Okay. Well, I'm seeing a lot of Jubilee, but I'm not seeing your other son, Uku. Okay, that's confusion. Do you have a middle name that goes Cassium?
Yes, we got dividend then, and I think I kept one or two of them.
Is your middle name Cassium?
No. My middle name is not Kasim.
Okay,
Or
but
let me check if she did it in her name. Uku Queen. Uku, then Queen Margaret. Uku Queen Margaret.
okay, what I'm saying is Uku Queen Nena and Uku Queen Uchechi. Obviously not, but this is what to do. Follow me on Instagram, send me a DM. I'll follow
Okay.
you for you to open a brokerage account for either you or for her, and then let the once the account is opened, you will email them to dematerialize certificate. They will do a global search on CSCS and retrieve all the stocks that she owns.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You believe?
Do that. What's your Instagram handle, sir?
I'm typing it right here, right now. So you can go through at Wealth Coach Omiete. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
If there no L there, if not no L like WEALTH or without the L.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. The next standby is IJ Luxury Hairs. After IJ is Nosty Noston. So over to IJ while we are connecting. Any news on Eternal PLC, please? Hawa Balami. No news yet. But since oil prices are going up, maybe petroleum stocks will find a way to make some gains. Okay, we lost that person. We go on to Nosty Noston. Jude Moore says, Coach, is TIP found under equity or premium board? TIP is actually found under growth. Check for growth, you will find TIP there. Omo B says, I got MTN during public offer. Can I still hold on to it, Coach? Well, Omo B, another phase is emerging and evolving for MTN. Please feel free to hold, don't sell. Especially when people see that Airtel is at over 2,300 naira per share, they fall back on MTN no matter what the difference is. The edge that Airtel has over MTN in terms of share pricing still has to do with the analogy or illustration I gave, the comparison between NEM Insurance and Cornerstone. Too many shares were allotted for MTN. So the shares outstanding for MTN is far more and the shares outstanding for Airtel. That's why Airtel can be costing as high as 2,300 naira per share, while MTN is still at 300 and something naira per share. Okay, callers are always prioritized. Hello, Nostino Storm.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
My real name is Abdul Wahid Idiagbon. I'm streaming from
You're streaming from where?
from Lagos.
Thank you very much, Idiabo. Go ahead.
So thank you, Coach. I've been enjoying your teaching, but my own question is more of mentorship in career. So I have my background is in accountancy and tax. So this is my 9th year experience in practicing as a finance and tax professional. So I think over the years I have found accounting, I don't know, will I say boring now? And again, because of a shift in the information technology effect on the accounting profession, because I see that most ERP can now do what accountants are doing. So I need you to advise me on how I can fully integrate into the finance and investing as a career. I've done well for myself to take some courses in investing on Udemy. So, but I now need to know how I can get opportunities and how I can start analyzing stock like this, and also be like a wealth coach or managing wealth for HNIs like you. That's my question, sir.
Okay, I think this is purely a career path-based question, and it will be best to find companies operating in this particular sphere to apply to be a part of them. Wealth management companies like ARON Pensions, Stanbic IBTC, Fund Management, and all of those companies, including sometimes some of these bigger stockbroking houses, to be a good place to start. It's very important that you, beyond just taking courses online, because this is serious, it's finance, you now need practical knowledge of the workings before you eventually launch out as a coach, which means you leave those establishments, because you can't be working in any of those organizations and still be functioning as an independent wealth coach. But it's important you go into any of these establishments, get an employment, then learn on the job how to manage funds and portfolios. Then from there, you equip yourself well enough. When you have created sufficient resources to sustain you, you can now start functioning as a wealth coach.
All right, thank you.
In coaching, there is also various courses to take to be able to listen. Now, many people have come and said, coach is very patient, coach is very patient. There are trainings to go to be able, because you need patience. It's almost like a patient-doctor relationship. You have to stay patient to hear, just like doctors will listen to you and do all their checks before they proceed to making prescriptions. So, but the first thing first is the know-how of fund management. There are subsidiaries of banks that do this as well. Just find your way around it with your qualification already and experience. They should be able to take you on.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just 5 minutes before we go today. If you are not following me, you are losing money. You will need to hear what others are saying. Go onto my YouTube channel, go onto my other social media handles. The link is on my Linktree link on my bio here, so that you don't miss out on anything. And most importantly, if you want to join Network Investors Club, follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, I'll forward the link to you. That's because The link expires from time to time, and it helps to protect the cyber security of the group. So no hacker jumps in without being invited officially. And of course, even when the link is shared in public, it expires over a short time. So you don't get to receive visitors with ulterior motives. Please talk about your one-on-one coaching at day T. My one-on-one coaching is completely different and is fee-based. That's because basically I am doing this mentorship for free on all social media platforms, including this live session on my YouTube and everything, including in our Network Investors Club. But I found that people still needed a one-on-one coaching so that because perhaps they do not have the time to concentrate and do these things themselves, they get me to help take them along while teaching them and structuring what is good for them, particularly because as our faces are different, so are our needs. Some of us are even of different age ranges. So when you are designing a portfolio, when it comes to the one-on-one, I can be able to design a portfolio that perfectly suits both your cash flow, your age range, and what your investment goal is. That's not what I can do for everybody at once because we are all different. But basically, that's what the one-on-one coaching is, and it comes in various durations depending on what you can afford, from 1 hour quick strategy call to 1 month coaching to 3 months. There's also the 6 months, the 9 months, and the 1 year. All of that is available on my website, which is under construction and will soon be finished. If I do not meet the needs of those people, I do not feel fulfilled. Who really want one-on-one mentorship? And that's, coaching. That's why that coaching is different. So if you want to discuss anything like that, or you have an organization that does that is looking forward to training their staff, because sometimes the staff you don't train personal finance and investment will continue to steal from you until they are found out. But one other way to empower staff is not just giving them money and bonuses, but also equipping them with this knowledge. So if you want me to speak to your organization and your people, both for staff and for the management, especially in managing the funds of the company, because the same way as individuals we run into some dry seasons of no cash, right? Lack of liquidity. That's the way companies suffer. But you know what? You can structure an investment on behalf of the company, in the name of the company too, in a way that the company does not lack monthly salary payments to staff. All those struggles that companies suffer and keep staff unpaid 2 weeks into a new month. You can get rid of all of that if you can structure a proper financial management system that I can help organizations with. All right, so that's the way it works. Ladies and gentlemen, I have only 1 minute and I cannot take any more calls. And of course, I can't take any more questions. But you know what? One person has been standing by for long at that Anambra. I will listen to that and then we will call it a day today because I have to go back to the floor of the exchange to see what happens to my transactions and to see if I can find a way. While I'm talking, people are making money. I mentioned them here. Most of you are going to buy it. I can't now buy it at 15 because it's now 16. But in any case, I'm getting fulfilled in any case. So the market has actually been sleeping over NEM insurance. And this is where you're hearing it for the first time. Let's watch how far NEM can go and let's see what they can do regarding their full year results. Hello. Looks like we can't even get across to her because it's already 2 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize if I've not been able to respond to your questions. It's because time is fast spent. Appreciate all of you for all your gifts. Please, if you missed any part of this, especially regarding the situation with the Nigerian banks that has caused those panic sales initially, you can always go back to the YouTube channel where today's live session will also be uploaded like the others. Maximum on or before 6 p.m. Nigerian time today, today's full video will be uploaded so you don't get to miss out, especially for those of our members who are in Canada and in US with a different time zone. Do well to follow up watch, also share those videos on YouTube, and you will just be blessing a soul. You never know. Thank you very much, Tim Becky, and everybody who has gifted me today. Tomorrow is another day. We go out again and look for opportunities. For those of you who were able to scoop those banks in that early sell-off, congratulations, because almost all of you are at least 2 naira per share gain already. You are on 2 naira per share gain already, and that is the power of knowledge. When you invest with knowledge, you make money where others are running away from money. Thank you very much. And until we see again tomorrow, same time, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Nigerian time, this is me saying goodbye.